The greater sage-grouse, also known as the sageon, is the largest grouse in North America. It ranges sagebrush country in the western United States and southern Alberta and Saskatchewan, Canada. It was known as simply the sage-grouse until the Gunnison sage-grouse was recognized as a separate species in 2000. Each spring, at dawn, the sagebrush country of western North America fills with a strange burbling sound and an even stranger sight. Dozens of male greater sage-grouse puff their chests and fan their starburst tails like avant-garde turkeys. They inflate bulbous yellow air sacs and thrust with their heads to produce weird pops and whistles. The rest of the year these birds melt away into the great sagebrush plains that are their only home. Habitat fragmentation and development have caused severe declines for this spectacular bird. Although many male greater sage-grouse may display at a lek, only one or two males get picked by a majority of the females for mating. Scientists have recorded a single male copulating 37 times with 37 different females, and coincidentally the whole thing took 37 minutes. This isn't all that uncommon for the top males at a lek. Most of them, females mate with the same one or a few males, putting intense pressure on males to be the best. Over the harsh winter, sage-grouse actually manage to gain weight and strength in preparation for the breeding season by feeding on the leaves of sagebrush. They get water from feeding on snow. In preparation for a strutting display, male greater sage-grouse can gulp and hold a gallon of air in a pouch of their esophagus. By squeezing it out with force, they begin their display. The sound from the male's booming display is actually loudest off to each side, not straight ahead. That's why you may see displaying males standing to the side of a female instead of in front of her. Like many other grouse species, the greater sage-grouse male plays no role in the raising of the young. Males display on dancing grounds known as leks. Females visit the leks to obtain mattings, and then go off to raise their brood by themselves. Traditional lekking grounds may be used for years. Sage-grouse have a specialized stomach that digests the tough sagebrush, their main food. Greater sage-grouse can live up to 9 years in the wild, but more often 3 to 6 years. Females tend to be longer-lived, due to high predation of males on leks. Male greater sage-grouse are well known for their display dances on traditional gathering grounds known as leks. Traditional lekking grounds may be used for many years. Although many male sage-grouse gather to display at a lek, only a few are chosen by the majority of visiting females for mating. After mating, the females disperse to areas around the lek to nest. Greater sage-grouse utter a chicken-like cackling call when flushed from cover. Displaying males make a weird assortment of booming, swishing, and popping noises, produced by rattling their stiff tail and wing feathers and inflating and deflating their throat sacs. Each spring heralds a unique spectacle on brushy western plains of North America. Year after year, male greater sage-grouse congregate on ancestral display grounds known as leks. There, the males strut about, fanning spiky tail feathers and raising feathered white collars while inflating bright yellow throat sacs, all the while making a weird assortment of booming, swishing, and popping noises. Female sage-grouse, the object of all this parading, look on with a critical eye. Although male birds of other species, from the greater prairie chicken down to the club-winged manakin and Chilean wood-star hummingbird, also display on leks, the greater sage-grouse has come to represent a wider landscape. Like other lekking species such as the lesser prairie chicken and buff-breasted sandpiper, the greater sage-grouse male plays no role in raising the young. Hens nest under a sagebrush or other large shrub in a well-hidden, grass-lined depression on the ground. A hen lays and incubates a clutch of 6 to 10 eggs. The downy chicks hatch after 2 to 3 weeks and immediately walk out of the nest to follow their mother. In their first week of life, chicks eat many protein-rich insects, but switch to a plant-based diet as they mature. Surviving on sagebrush, greater sage-grouse hens and their young sometimes gather with other females in food-rich areas. Post-breeding, other individual grouse may join these groups, sometimes forming winter flocks that number in the hundreds. The quality of nesting habitat surrounding a lek is one of the most important factors for sage-grouse nesting success, with adequate cover being one of the most critical components. The greater sage-grouse needs large expanses of healthy sagebrush habitat to thrive. Since it lacks a muscular gizzard like other birds have, it cannot grind and digest hard seeds, and must feed on softer plant material. Sagebrush buds, leaves, and bunch grasses constitute over 70% of its diet year-round, supplemented by insects, fruits, and small amounts of grit. The sage-grouse forages on the ground in open habitats, seeking sheltered feeding spots in harsh weather. Although the greater sage-grouse is a permanent resident throughout its range, it may make short seasonal movements sparked by food availability and weather. For example, some may move to lower elevations during the winter. No subspecies of greater sage-grouse are recognized, but there are distinct populations in Washington state and on the California-Nevada border. There is also the Gunnison sage-grouse, a closely related species, which occurs mostly in Colorado. Gunnison sage-grouse are significantly smaller in size and males have more noticeably barred tails. The charismatic greater sage-grouse is an umbrella species, meaning that efforts to conserve it also benefit a wide variety of other wildlife. It is one of the most prominent inhabitants of the sagebrush sea, which encompasses millions of acres of open lands across 13 US states and small portions of a few Canadian provinces. These plains are more complex than they first appear, with many varieties of native sagebrush, bunch grasses, and wildflowers. The sagebrush sea is home to hundreds of bird species besides the grouse, including the sagebrush sparrow and sage thrasher, plus scores of other animals ranging from the unique pronghorn antelope to the Great Basin spadefoot toad.